And most people now know, it's commonly known that you're headed for Pakistan. There's a bit of a gap in between. Can you fill in the blanks for us?
Well, after I left Radio Lotus, I joined the Department of Foreign Affairs, and I served in Pretoria for about 18 months before I got posted off to Beverly Hills, where I served for almost 4 years. After Beverly Hills, I got back to Pretoria, working on the Middle East desk, and then, as people remember, I was involved in the evacuation during the Gulf War, and from there I was off to Cape Town, and I became media spokesman for the Department of Foreign Affairs, and I worked with the Director General, the previous Director General, Neil van Heerden. And I did that for about 18 months. I did 2 sessions in Cape Town. And when I got back from the second session, I was then transferred back to the Middle East desk, and I was involved in the Dubai trade show, and I traveled a bit in the Middle East. And then I did an Arabic course, gearing myself up for a possible posting in the Middle East. And then from out of the blue, the President Director General, Mr. Rusty Evans, calls me and tells me, "Are you off to Pakistan?" And my reaction was, well, I aimed for the Middle East, and he says, well, it's slightly off target, but it's around in the same area. And that's what's basically been happening, and I'm off to Pakistan now.
Now, it's a bit of a complicated situation, as South Africa doesn't have a consulate or an embassy in Pakistan. What will your position be?
What we plan to do is to have an office in Islamabad and to have an office in Karachi, and I'll be going to Karachi. Presently, the office in Islamabad would be the South African Representative Office, and the one in Karachi would be the branch office of the Representative Office. My position would be the head of mission for the Karachi office. But once relations are formalized, what we envisage to have is embassy in Islamabad and a consulate general in Karachi. But presently, I go as head of mission for the Karachi office.
So you'll obviously be based in Karachi, but what will your duties in Pakistan be?
To get the whole thing started, which in a sense is a kind of pioneering kind of work. Yeah. And once I get it started, and then it would operate like a regular mission, which would mean I would be representing South Africa's interests in Karachi. We would be doing consular work, visas, trade work, cultural exchanges, and so forth.
Now, should South African visitors to Pakistan run into any sorts of problems there, what kind of assistance can you offer to them?
The same kind of assistance that we offer to South African citizens in countries where we do have representation. For example, if a South African citizen lands in Pakistan and he's mugged in the street and he's in serious trouble, then obviously the consular section of the office would then assist him in getting back to South Africa. And various other cases where he gets sick in South Africa, in Karachi, where South Africans are involved in business transactions in Pakistan. Obviously, we'd have a trade component, and the trade component would then assist South Africans in that case as well.
Will you only be involved in commerce, or are you going to get involved in other spheres as well, for instance, sport, culture, arts and entertainment?
My role is to foster relations between South Africa and Pakistan. Initially, it'll be to establish the relations, which will take a bit of time. I mean, in diplomatic terms, establishing relations takes time. Once we've established relations, we formalize relations, then my role would be to foster better relations between our two countries, and relations at all levels, at the political, cultural, sporting, and so forth. I understand that South Africa will be playing cricket soon with Pakistan. They've come here, and that created a lot of goodwill between our two countries. And when the South Africans come there, and if they play in Karachi, obviously being the South African representative, I have to take care of the interests of the South African cricketers. And being a cricketer myself, I'm looking forward to that. Culturally, we have looked to India for a lot of music, as you know, and qawwalis and so forth. There's a lot of cultural things that we can exchange with Pakistan. Even on the religious field, Pakistan produces some of the finest Islamic literature in the Urdu language, and there's a lot of work that we can do there. And overall, there's a lot of potential in terms of a broad range of issues between Pakistan and South Africa, and the challenge that I have is to realize this potential.